My husband, Marcus, 28, and I, 25 female, have a beautiful infant daughter. Background: about a year ago, my little brother, Jacob, nearly adult, came to stay with Marcus and me. My mom said that she and Jacob were constantly fighting, so Jacob asked if he could stay with us until he went off to college. I was hesitant at first, but Jacob is my brother, and I wanted to help him out. For the past year, everything has been going fairly well, until yesterday. Marcus was at work while me, Jacob, and my daughter were all at home. I asked Jacob if he could keep an eye on my daughter for a few minutes while in the bathroom. After I walked out of the bathroom, I saw Jacob playing with my daughter. He was at the top of a long staircase. Before I could blink, Jacob stumbled, and my daughter came barreling down the stairs like a rag doll. I started crying hysterically and bolted over to the bottom of the stairs. After I got a closer look, it turned out that it wasn't my daughter. It was one of my niece's baby dolls wrapped in my daughter's blanket. My mind was blank. I looked up and saw Jacob cracking up, saying he can't believe that worked. I snapped. I started screaming at him and told him that he was beyond messed up. Jacob tried to calm me down. He said it was just a joke and that my daughter was safe and sound in her room. I was inconsolable at this point. I told him just to pack his stuff and get out. Jacob started crying. He begged me to stay and said that he didn't mean any harm. I called my mom and told her that she needed to come pick up Jacob, or he would be on the streets. My mom came and got Jacob, but she later called me and said I was massively overreacting. Even Marcus agrees with my mom. He says that Jacob is a dumb teen and should be given a second chance. Now that I'm in a calm state of mind, I'm starting to doubt my reaction, and I'm wondering if I went too far. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He made a dumb decision, and he's going to learn there are consequences. And I'm sorry you had to live for even a second thinking anything bad had happened. Don't let your brother back, OP, but ask him to explain to you and your mother what part of the prank was meant to be funny. Don't let him be vague. Really make him spell it out. And when he can't, ask him whether your distress was worth whatever humor he found in the situation. You are not the idiot for kicking him out. Gee, I can't imagine why your mom is having problems living with him. Maybe after a month or two, consider offering him a chance to live with you again, if he keeps in mind that your child's safety is not a joking matter to you. But absolutely, he can deal with a few months of living at home with your mom again, so he can realize that his actions can have consequences, even if no one gets physically hurt. That would be a big nope on him ever returning. Actions have consequences, and he's old enough to know this. His antics were explicitly intended to upset OP as much as humanly possible. OP, you have a baby, and he targeted your greatest fear. Trust your first instinct, protect your child and your sanity, and never let him back in your home or alone with your baby. Everyone's the idiot here. It was a dumb, not funny, harmful prank, and you were well within your rights to be livid, upset, and hold him accountable for his actions. But based on your story, it doesn't sound like he has a history of prank pulling. If this was a random moment of terrible decision-making on his part, then maybe the punishment doesn't match the crime. I'm well rested, not a new mother, running on whatever humans regularly run on, and male. I am amazed she managed not to throw Jacob down the stairs for real after what he did. Merely sending him back home to mom is on the tame end, in my opinion. If he demonstrates genuine remorse, not the I don't want to face the consequences of my actions remorse, I think this is a forgivable mistake, but I wouldn't blame OP for needing a fair bit of time to get to that point at all. My ex from high school got pregnant and never told me. In fact, her parents kept us from having any contact. I, 32 male, was never told about my son until December of last year. My son Josh is a teen, and my ex finally told him about me, so he tried to find me. It's been a huge shock for my family and me, and obviously very emotional for him and myself. I have 2 younger boys. They have both spent time with Josh a few months after him and I started reconnecting. While it was a little challenging explaining to them the situation, they quickly warmed up to the idea of having a big brother, and Josh has been great with them. He's a wonderful kid in general. I know his home life hasn't been easy, and he's just happy to get to know the other side of the family. I wish I could say it's been easy on my wife, but she hasn't wanted to meet him just yet. For her, it hurt to know that she wasn't the only person I had a child with, and the fact that Josh would be a part of our lives little by little. I never pushed for her to be part of the activities I do with Josh and the boys for these reasons. With the holidays coming up, it made me start thinking about him not having anyone to spend it with. My ex is hardly ever around, and they don't get along. I mentioned to my wife about inviting him over for Thanksgiving, and she got mad. She keeps saying she doesn't understand why he has to be a part of our dinner when I can go do something separately for him. And I agree I can do that. I just wanted him to feel included in our family dinner, especially since he asked me recently if we plan to do anything. We've talked about her joining us on an outing with Josh so they can finally meet, but it's always been not yet. And with her saying no to him coming to dinner, I have wanted to discuss it more. My wife and I had 2 conversations about this that turned into arguments. I keep insisting, so for that she thinks I'm being a bit of an idiot and not understanding that this is still something she needs time to adjust to. I've argued that it's been almost a year since we found out about him, and our kids have spent time with him many times. She still believes I'm the idiot for trying to force this on her when she only wants to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with just us. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but I don't think your wife has any plans of ever accepting Josh as part of your family and forcing Josh to be around someone that is 100% going to dislike him might not be the best for a child that has already had a hard time. I say this because I was a Josh. My stepmother met me when I was 2, and she just started being civil towards me this year. I am 25 now, so maybe do what is best for Josh right now. Agreed. Honestly, I'd suggest OP explicitly explain the situation to Josh, that you genuinely really want him to join for Thanksgiving, but that your wife is not open to meeting him, and she would make things tense for everyone if he joined, like you wished he would. I'm afraid that if OP were to consider separation over this, then the other 2 children might end up blaming Josh somehow. Ethically, siding with Josh is more important, and emotionally, that's what I agree with. Still, logically, I don't want Josh to feel responsible in any way for breaking up OP's family. OP's wife married a guy without kids. Not everyone wants to be a step-parent. She quite literally did not sign up for this, and it sounds like she's being nudged into a role without ever having been consulted. Understandable wife needed time to deal and process. OP, stop trying to force her to accept your son into her family, as it will never happen, especially for a family holiday. You couldn't choose a worse time to force the issue. I don't know that reasonable is the way I'd describe the wife. Any reasonable person would understand that a surprise offspring is always possible for an intimately active man, and a reasonable person doesn't punish a poor kid in a rough situation for something that's not his fault. We can sympathize with her feelings, but that doesn't make them reasonable, and it doesn't make it okay to let a kid suffer. The woman needs therapy badly. I, 31 male, have been with my partner, 29 female, for over 2 years. We have a pretty great relationship and have lived together very well, but there are a few things we haven't quite ironed out. For example, we both have different opinions on where we both want to live in the future, where we want to raise our kids, etc. We had a bit of a rocky start 2.5 years ago before we got properly serious. When we first met, I chose to date and initially preferred someone else, but ultimately realized I wanted to be with my partner now. This has bred a little insecurity, and now I have to hand over my phone every now and then when she's feeling particularly insecure, so she can check through my phone without me being present to make her see there is nothing else going on. Of course, I have nothing to hide, but personally, I hate having to pass over my device and then sit in the other room while I get inspected. Anyway, I hope the insecurity and phone checking decrease into non-existence. It has massively decreased in frequency, and we can agree on the next place we live. With that being said, she wants to get engaged by summer 2022. If I can't commit to that, she will ultimately find someone else who will marry her. She wanted to get engaged earlier this year, but I've already asked for an extension. I don't think I can extend the timelines again. I don't want to break up, but I feel stressed, like I'm being pushed to get engaged before I'm ready and before we've ironed out our issues. Time is moving fast and I'm scared. Edit. I should add, we do talk about our issues, where we want to live, etc. We just haven't agreed. Moving the engagement timeline is less negotiable. She wants to have kids in around 3 years, so she needs to get married the year before, and thus needs to get engaged the year before that, which puts the timeline to 2022. Lots of red flags here. She doesn't trust you, the phone, and ultimatums are a huge red flag and a sign of how the relationship will be from that point on. Trust me on this one. If she doesn't trust you now, it'll only get worse. Women don't suddenly get lax and comfortable once a ring is on their finger. Extension. You don't want to marry her. She doesn't want to be in a relationship where there is no plan to get married. She's also approaching an age where, if she wants to have biological children, she needs to get a move on. You have incompatible goals for this relationship. The kindest thing to do would be to break up. Wow, just wow. No one should get inspected in a relationship just because of one's insecurities. It is a huge red flag for me and probably won't stop ever, sadly. Also, making you become engaged to her by forcing you is not healthy. A lot of red flags. Talk to her about this. It's scary, I know, but it will make you feel better. Some questions to ask yourself. Why does she want to get engaged in such a hurry? If she wants to get engaged after 2.5 years of dating, how long will she be happy being just engaged? You're a doormat, OP. I got married to my husband and baby daddy 1 year ago after dating for 4 years. We have a 2-month-old together. The problem is my husband always seems to prioritize his mom over me. Always. We lived away from his mom for the first 2 years, another city, another state, but now she's moved closer to us. The first 2 years I met her, she was a lovely woman, and there was never conflict between us. Then she moved close to us a bit before we married, and things changed, especially after marriage. After work, my husband visits his mother and spends 5 to 6 hours in her house and comes home really late at night. He gave away the keys to our house so his mom could visit whenever she wanted. The house is in his name, so I feel I can't speak on that, even though we both pay the bills and the food we eat in here equally. His mom always throws shade that as a mother, she always comes first, and nobody will love my husband as she does, and the only person he needs is his mommy. My husband seems not to get why that would be disrespectful to me. We have a baby now, and I confronted him once again for spending so many hours at his mom's instead of coming home to be a father to his baby. He accused me of being jealous of his mom. I explained that it's not jealousy, but that he lets his mom disrespect our family and me, and he does nothing. I told him I'm his wife and the mother of his kid, and I should be his main priority and family, not his mom. He then used a phrase I said when we first started dating. He said, "When we started dating, you told me you didn't like men who disrespect their mothers, and now you're asking me to disrespect my mom and put you above her? Which is it?" I explained to him that I meant that I don't like men who disrespect their mothers for no reason. If your mom is a narcissistic person who disrespects your wife and the mother of your children, she shouldn't be respected at my expense. And if he can't realize that, then maybe he wasn't ready for marriage. He was upset and left home and went to sleep at his mother's place for a few days until I apologized for what I said. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If he works full time and then spends 5 hours a day at his mother's, he's not a father, just a guy who knocked you up. At this point, you're a single parent, which you were not prepared for. You can respect your mom and still have boundaries. Girl, dial that lawyer's number. This is some weird-ass Oedipus complex, and I'm so sorry it didn't show until it was too late for you to cut and run. Not the idiot. He shouldn't be giving out keys to your home to anybody without you agreeing. He's a disrespectful, neglectful father and husband to be in this unhealthy relationship with his mother. You're right, except it's not disrespecting your mother to grow up and have your own life and family. It's also not disrespectful to defend and support your wife. He is not ready for marriage to anyone but his mom at the moment. Jesus, there are way too many red flags. I'm sorry you married a mommy's boy. That is way too much time to spend with his mother. If he goes to work and spends that much time with her, where's the family time? When does he pull his weight as a father? When does he do any housework? The fact that the house is in his name is irrelevant. I feel like I'm being gaslit by him. He brings up how he's respecting his mother, like I said he should, but he's completely twisting that to the extreme, to the point he respects his mother way too much, to the point he's being disrespectful to me. He even brought up an argument about how his mother was the one who carried him, birthed him, and raised him as a single woman, so it's selfish to say he shouldn't put her first. Your husband has an emotionally creepy relationship with his mother. This is a psychological battle you will never win, but he's showing you who he is. Believe him. Tell him to go live with his mommy, since that's who matters to him. Then change the locks and file for divorce. Here's the situation. I, male 27, have been with my girlfriend, 24, for 7 months. We don't live together, and she has sleepovers at my place regularly. 2 days ago, she spent the night at my place, and in the morning while I was sleeping in, she got up, got dressed, took my credit card, and went grocery shopping with it. I woke up to a massive breakfast made by her as a surprise, and when I asked how she got money and time to prepare all that, she told me she took my credit card while I was sleeping and headed to the supermarket to get the stuff she needed to make me a surprise breakfast. I was stunned. I asked why she didn't ask me before taking my credit card, and she said I was sleeping and she didn't want to bother me. Besides that, she wanted this to be a surprise. I just stared and said, I don't know. You do realize you technically stole from me when you took my credit card and went shopping with it without my consent, right? She looked at me in complete shock and confusion and said that she was just trying to do something nice for me, and I just implied that she was a thief. I just shrugged and said it was technically true. She was so upset she got up and stormed out of the kitchen crying. She collected her stuff and left after she said she spent time and effort to prepare me breakfast, and that I was out of line to say she stole from me just because she forgot her wallet at home. She kept hanging up when I tried to call her, and later sent me money for the stuff she bought, although she didn't take anything with her. My sister came over, and when I told her, she called me an ungrateful jerk with no manners to react this way after this display of affection by my girlfriend. She suggested I get over myself and apologize as soon as possible, but I decided to take my time. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Am I crazy being the only one, at least so far, who thinks this? You don't take someone's credit card. That is a huge violation. Yes, cooking breakfast is very nice. However, buying something for someone with their own money without asking is not. Buying someone a birthday gift with their own money is not cool. Why would this be? Especially with the additional fact that someone who OP has been dating for months thought it was okay to take his credit card. Yeah, this is insane. I've done this for a partner before, but with my own money. It's not really a gift if you use someone else's money to buy it. So what the heck is this? Did she forget her wallet? Fine. Then maybe get groceries and make breakfast literally any other day but that one. This is nuts and your sister's wrong. Even if you don't want to call it stealing, this is a massive boundary violation. This chick is bizarre. I'm going with everyone's the idiot here. Your girlfriend was really out of line for taking your credit card and buying stuff without asking you first. How does she not have any money to buy breakfast food? Is she still a student? Your response was over the top. It sounds like the response of someone who enjoys arguing with people on the internet for no reason. It was also deeply unkind. You could have figured out a better way to ask your girlfriend not to take your credit card and spend money without asking first, than by telling her that she technically stole from you. You are the idiot. She bought groceries for your apartment. It's not like she used your card for selfish things. Yes, you are technically correct, and congrats on being single for that. Something like, I really appreciate all the effort you went through, but in the future, could you ask before using my card? There are better ways to establish that boundary than calling your girlfriend a thief and crapping all over the surprise she put a lot of effort into.